Hi everyone, Stephanie with Mama Bear Inc. Welcome back to another Throwback Thursday video here on my YouTube channel. If this is your first visit, thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope you'll consider subscribing. For today's Throwback Thursday video, we're going to be using one of my all-time favorite stamp sets. I've mentioned before how last fall's stamps and papers were some of my absolute favorites, and so I'm going to be using them today. This is the For All Things stamp set, and we're going to be using quite a few of the images out of this today. And the ink colors that we're going to be using today are Crushed Curry, Blackberry Bliss, and Soft Suede, which coordinate nicely with our soft suede card base, which is cut 8.5 by 5 1/4 and scored at, by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. We're going to be using some of last year's designer series paper. This is called Color Me Autumn. So we need a panel of that. That is 5 1/4 by 4, and a Whisper White panel that is 5 by 3 3/4. Those are actually going to be for the inside of the card, because this is a special card. All right, and then we're going to need a few more layers. I've got another little square of soft suede here that measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Some more DSP cut at 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, and another little piece of Whisper White that is cut 2.5 by 2.5 inches square. You're also going to need another little piece of Whisper White to do some stamping on as well. Okay, so for the card base, this is the fun special part, and we're gonna see if I can actually do it on camera. Okay, we need our stamp and trimmer, and this is what is called a corner flip card. All right, and I never really know which side is going to wind up being in my card front until I'm done cutting it. So what we want to do is align our card base up at 3 inches here. And we're going to start our cut at 5/8 of an inch, which is the larger tick mark just past the 1/2 inch mark. And we're going to put it down there, and we're going to cut all the way down to 3 inches from the 5/8 inch mark. Okay, so that's our first cut, and it would have been our first cut had I been using the cutting blade. Instead, I was using the scoring blade, so it scored me a pretty little line. Okay, let's try that again. 5/8 inch, put it down, cut down to the 3 inch mark there. All right, open her up. Now we need to flip and turn to the short side, line up again at 3 inches, and again we're starting at the 5/8 inch mark. Good gracious. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, we're going to put it down there, and again cut up to the 3 inch mark. Okay. All right. So the cuts are done, and we did it right. Yahoo. Ooh, it's a little bit rough there. Okay, I can show you how we can fix that up. So the cuts are done. Now for the special part. We're going to take the top corner, and we're going to fold until it is, ooh, my paper's ripping, till it is nice and square, like so. All right. And I don't score those lines. I kind of tried it because I thought, well, oh, I didn't get that very square. All right, let's try this again. It needs to come down square like that. But my paper ripped, so I was trying to save it. There we go. Okay, so my cardstock did not hold up very well. Well, of course it didn't. This is a video. It never works out in the video like it does when you're just making it yourself. Okay, so that is the front of our card, and I'll show you the sample that I made. This is one that I made here in the last couple of days. And when I folded it down, it seemed to do fine. So I don't know if it's just the way I cut this cardstock or how I did it. But in any case, we will go ahead and stamp our inside layer. So this is our designer series paper and our Whisper White layer. And I've chosen the image, Give Thanks for All Things, to put on the inside of the card. And I'm going to do that with soft suede ink, whoo, that I just threw across my desk. See, this is what happens when Mama Bear has too much coffee and not enough food to balance it out. And I haven't eaten yet this morning, so I've certainly not had enough food. All right, and we will line this up. Now, remember, this part of the card is going to be exposed. So if you don't want your message to show from the outside, you want to stamp it down just a little bit, like that. Okay, and just because I am jittery, I'm going to put that ink away before it's all over the place. And we'll get our snail adhesive and put our white piece on our designer series paper. Good gracious. Jittery Mama Bear. Not great in the woods, not great in the craft room. All right, and we will bring our card base back in. Okay, and we're going to place this on the inside of the card. Make sure we get it centered up real nice. All right, and the inside of our card is complete. That is really, really bothering me. Okay, so on the outside of our card now, I am going to take the little acorn image, more soft suede ink, and I'm just going to kind of dress this up. And I don't want to stamp onto my little square, but just kind of fill in the area around it. And this is just kind of creating my own designer paper. Okay, I think that's enough. Put that away. And now we will bring in our little square layers. So remember, we have the one layer of soft suede, the DSP, and the Whisper White. So on the Whisper White, we are going to start with crushed curry ink and this little kind of watercolor smudgy image from that, from the For All Things stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp this kind of right in the center, like that. And we're done with that one. And let's see, I'm going to turn it because it's a little bit closer to the top edge here. And then I'm going to bring in some Blackberry Bliss ink and this pretty little kind of wheat sheaves, I guess is what it's supposed to be, from the same For All Things stamp set. Get that inked up. And we're going to put this kind of at an angle and toward the top like that. Oh, that is so nice. I love that image. I love those two images together. Doesn't really matter what color they are. Okay, so that part is done. We are going to bring in our little scrap here and the small stamp that says Hello Fall. And we're going to be stamping that again in soft suede ink. And we're going to cut this into a little fishtail banner. And we're just going to cut it by hand. There we go. And cut it by hand, excuse me. What I'm going to do is just take my long scissors and, because I want to cut it fairly close, just like that. And it doesn't always come out perfect when you cut stuff by hand, as that one obviously didn't. But it looks a little better when you take your 1-inch square punch, and this is the easiest way ever to flag ends. You just put it in, woohoo! Okay. Put it into the corner of your square punch until you can actually see some of the writing. Pull it out until you can't anymore, square it up and punch. And there you have your little fishtail ends. It's just that easy. Okay, so we have all of our pieces for the front done. So let's put them together right quick here. Just using snail adhesive again for this. Our stamped image on top of our designer series paper. Get that lined up. and then the whole shebang on the soft suede cardstock. All right, and then we will put this onto the front of the card because we want to pop up our little banner. Okay, and we're going to center that in the front square here. And then we're going to take our little banner, and these are called, or I call them, the bones of the dimensionals. And they are just perfect for mounting little banners like this. Okay, and we're going to put this little guy right over that little bow. And our card is complete. Now, I like the way this one looks, but I think, and I don't like that, but I think I like the contrast on this one better. Now this is kind of a more subdued color palette with the mossy meadow and the soft suede, where this is kind of a more bright fall color palette with the crushed curry and the Cajun craze. So I think I like this color combination better, but for the most part, I really like this card design. That is our Throwback Thursday card for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I've enjoyed spending time with you, and I look forward to doing so again soon. Take care.